Last night, a real hero in medical research died after 99 years on this earth, Michael DeBakey. Michael DeBakey, who was the surgeon who first carried out a coronary artery bypass graft with a saphenous vein. Michael DeBakey, who devised the surgery for aneurysms of the ascending aorta, something which many patients with Marfan syndrome then had their lives saved by. I met with Michael DeBakey about 9 months ago when I was in Houston for something and spent a wonderful hour as he told me stories about his experience. And his message was the same as mine, that anything that he had done was because he had this amazing team that he had to work with, and he learned so much from the patients that he took care of. And he also pointed out just how he had been blessed by serendipity. He said, you know, when I was first trying to figure out whether I could use some other foreign substance to replace a major artery to make a graft, I thought nylon would be the right thing. And so I went to the store asking for nylon, and they said, we're all out of nylon, but we've got this other new thing called Dacron. Do you want to try that? And he did, and it worked. And somebody else apparently tried nylon and spent 3 or 4 years only to discover that it wasn't the right substance. The body wouldn't handle it right. And only because the store was out of nylon did Michael DeBakey come up with this amazing substitutionary material which works beautifully for arteriografts. Talk about serendipity. I guess it was meant to be. And I don't know if you know the rest of that story, because when Michael DeBakey was 92 years old, sitting working at his desk one morning, he felt a tearing in his chest. Being a very good surgeon and a very good diagnostician, he concluded that he was having an aortic dissection, and he lay down preparing to die. And when he didn't, after an hour or so, he called up his team and said, you know, I think, even though I'm a little older than your average patient, that you might want to evaluate me for a Dacron graft. And they did. And he went through the surgery and came out of it just fine for another 8 or 9 years. So talk about physician heal thyself. And isn't that an interesting way to document how you never know the things you're working on, how they're going to turn out. But again, when I talked to him, he was all about the way in which these things have been part of a team. He was grateful for the recognition he received, including the Congressional Gold Medal just a few months ago, but felt that it was really something that should have been spread around amongst many other people. I feel very much that way. So you all in this room represent, from my perspective, the best of what one likes to see in a partnership between families, between scientists, between clinicians, between policymakers, between dedicated people of all stripes. You've encountered fatalism in other quarters, people saying, you know, it's one of those rare genetic diseases. We don't understand it. We're not going to probably have enough resources to work on it. You better just get used to that. And you have rejected that. You've encountered the cynicism of many people saying, these are not the kinds of conditions that we're going to find anything for in at least another century. And you've resisted that. And around us, we can see that those hopes are being lived out in remarkable ways, as has been demonstrated this evening with the awards that were given and the hopes that have been represented by the people who stood up here to speak. Looking around myself as a physician with a great interest in seeing progress made in this arena and with great hopes that the study of the human genome would make contributions in that regard, I see much to be excited about. Whether it is the discovery of a new small molecule that might treat Gaucher's disease, whether it's that new drug for PKU that has now been approved and seems to be very successful in getting kids in that circumstance in a new arena, whether it's the advances in polycystic kidney disease that now lead to clinical trials for that condition that are ongoing right now, or whether it was that paper published last week in the New England Journal of Medicine showing that a drug that was supposed to be developed for hypertension appears to be capable of stopping aortic enlargement in Marfan syndrome in its tracks. A truly remarkable story from Health East. All of those give one the ammunition to fight back against any of those who would voice cynicism or fatalism, to say, oh no, you're so yesterday. We are here now. We are moving forward. We have finally the tools, the people, the abilities to change all those things. And I know for each of you that may feel as if you're working on a disease that people have ignored word for too long. It's about time, and we still have a long way to go. But the way in which you all come together every year at this meeting is the best possible way to achieve those goals, by identifying your common shared needs and figuring out how, as a team, we can do much more. And that's what the Alliance really stands for. So again, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I first met genetics not as a basic science problem or an intellectual experience when it comes to humans. I met it as a medical student in that second month, where a pediatrician, wise as he was, felt that he couldn't really inspire his students about genetics unless he showed the human face. And that 2-week period, I think he maybe came to class 6 times, bringing with him a young man with sickle cell disease, a child with Down syndrome, an older woman with neurofibromatosis, a newborn with galactosemia. That changed my life. It would not have been changed without that humanity that infused the science. The science is exciting, let me tell you, and it gets better every day. And as I walk away from the leadership of this institute, I have every confidence that the way in which the science is going forward has the momentum that is unstoppable. Although, God willing, we would like to see it supported a little better in terms of what our federal government can do, and one hopes we might be turning the corner on that. But hope is in the air, as they say. But again, for me, the study of this field is not an intellectual experience all unto itself. It is all about people, and it's all about all of you. And so hope is very much part of my dream for the future. There's a quote I'm fond of, though, which might be very well the motto of the Genetic Alliance. It comes from Peter Levi. It says, "Hope in every sphere of life is a privilege that attaches to action. No action, no hope." The Alliance is all about action. And it's wonderful to watch that. Cheer Sharon and the rest of you on as you move that agenda forward in new and exciting ways. So bless you, all of you. I'll be watching and cheering from a slightly different platform. This award means more to me than I can possibly